All right, so I've been doing some research um, last about week, 2 week or so. I do see a potential untapped killer that'll help all of us that want to play even simultaneously. Um, it's Tabletop Simulator for those that aren't aware or haven't looked at it before. You do get it off Steam. The only cost is up front. I'm going to be clear and just say you do have to buy the game outright through Steam. It is 20 normally. I do hear quite often online it goes on sale with every Steam sale that goes on for like half off or better. Uh, but again, you're only paying for the game itself. Past that, everything is either through the workshop or through mods that you're even having to worry about it. So there's no other costs past that. The main reason I even was looking into this was because of any potential board game involvement I was having with another board game group I'm a part of. And we love board gaming online, but that's a paid yearly subscription for it, and this is kind of our another alternative I'm looking into as well for that reason, which we could certainly look into it for that if you guys were interested in that. But overall, this was mainly for also D&D potentially. This is just kind of more or less just curious, not really focused on D&D specifically, but I was just kind of curious. But you can also look at Magic the Gathering, which is the real reason I was looking at that for us. Especially with Untapped. Overall, my ratings on this as far as performance, it runs on my laptop perfectly fine. You do not need a beast of a machine to run this. Anyone's setups, even potatoes, will run this, I'm sure, just fine. We can also play this multiplayer. You can play as 1v1, 4 player. There's even maps for 6 and 8 players if we're ever feeling like mad lads and wanting to go crazy with it. But I can pull it up here real quick for you guys just to show you what it looks like. The Again, the interface is really smooth. I've actually very much enjoyed this. The good news about using this option as well, only the host of the server, when we play online, for example, if we were to do this, would need to have the maps or the mods downloaded. Everyone else can just join. We can just create our own multiplayer rooms, for example, and we can have everyone invited to that same one. Like I said, this one here is a 4 player table, but I saw the same creator. He actually made 6 and 8 versions as well. But as you can see, I've also tried a bunch of just different board games for the heck of it as well, to pretty similar effect. But as far as Magic the Gathering is, you just click on it, it loads in the assets, and you're in. This is actually very well streamlined. You move WASD, the camera around. You can scroll up and scroll down for zooming effects. You can obviously left click to interact, right click and hold will let you change the perspective around. If you are moving around, say you're just moving around everything you can hit spacebar. That will reset your perspective. But otherwise, you can actually choose, appeared in the top right corner, you can choose what color you want to be, and choosing that color will then set your character to that side. As far as the elements here, you do have your life total, which you can individually interact with. You can also click on as you would like. You can do multiples. You can reset. You also have track of commander damage on here, which is awesome. I love that a lot. That's just very overall intuitive. You do have a lot, and I mean a lot of assets, just available tokens, dice. You can do the different keywords on the cards. You can keep track of counters this way, or I'll even show you there's other ways to even do it with actual cards themselves. But you've got loyalty counters, suspend counters, you've got your different floating manas. You've got a number of different ways to do this. The coolest thing I've seen, though, is you can still use your online decks that we've used for Untap in the past, for example. I can kind of show you here real quick. What you want to use is this deck importer. This is going to allow you to import whatever deck you want to use into the game. For example, from what I've seen, Moxfield is the best choice. Personally, I use a lot of EDH Rec for my own building when I'm doing it. However, Even if you find decks, if you're just going off of decks you find online, as long as they go through a lot of these, I think Architect also works, but I can even go to these decks that I've found that I like. I can find their source and put it through Moxfield, and that will actually give me a support rep link that I can use. So for example, I could actually just click on this link on the URL, literally just copy that URL and post it in here, and that will actually allow me to use the deck that I have set up. Or in my case, say I want to go to my decks, I already have some saved in here, so I can go to mine, say I want to make my good old Conda deck. I can actually just open it up, and I could either copy the URL, or I can just export and copy it. Either way is totally fine. This way you can use it either way. You load it in, you submit it. It will render your deck, and right off the bat, it actually brings out your deck for you. So here's a 100-card deck. If you actually look right here, there is my commander. I can actually snap this into any of these fields. This is usually where your commanders would go. I'll just put mine here, for example. This right here is a token generator. What is really awesome about Moxfield is this will actually show you all of the available tokens that you can use from your deck based on the type of deck that you've created. It does this automatically. I don't even know what's telling it to do that, but it does it automatically. It's wonderful. But in fact, I will actually just keep them all here together, and I'll just put them right here next to my commander. And then I have my 99 card deck. I can actually drag it over here. So I want you guys to see, if you just click and drag right away, it will go ahead and just interact with that card. But if you're like working on your deck, for example, if you just click and drag, it's going to pull one card at a time. But if you want to interact with a bunch of things at once, you want to click and hold. That lifts up the entire stack as one unit. And this is where you would go ahead and you see how it's snapping into a different field. So here is where you would put your deck. This would be, for example, your graveyard. This would be exile. So you can actually interact with these together. What's really cool about this is you can hit R to shuffle, and you can actually just shuffle multiple times if you want, which is really fun. You can use these quick commands are going to be at the bottom. These are the ones we would mostly use. Right off here is the mulligan. So this will actually shuffle the deck and then draw you 7. And you can actually look down here. If you move your mouse, you can actually see all the cards in your hand. Turn 1 Soul Ring, I'm going to get targeted, but nonetheless, you can also go down here and see your cards. Just so you are aware, if it's hard to read a card, you can hold the Alt key, and wherever your mouse is, it will highlight and maximize that card a bit more, so you can read it easier. Again, you can either just look at it here, where no one else can see, or you can go down here to your hand at the bottom, and again, you can zoom in as you need. If you ever want to play a card, it's literally just pick up and drag. It is super smooth. It is very intuitive. There's no reloading time. There's no server base of just, holy crap, how long does it take to do stuff? It's actually very smooth. It runs really, really well as far as that goes. If you want to tap things, you could use Q or E. I already have everything set to turn 90 degrees, so if you just hit Q and E, you can tap all of your stuff. And then say you're at the beginning of your turn, you can go ahead and hit the untap button here, and untaps everything for you. Oh, but this, hold on. It costs 4 mana to untap that. Oh, there you go. Look at that. I hit untap, and it won't untap. And it actually tells me to look and see why, and that was pretty great. I didn't even read the card yet. So we'll just say I untapped it. Anyways, that's just fun. I'm learning the deck as I go. I untap, and then you can draw. You can just left-click here to draw your next card from your deck. I could click multiple times, and I can keep going. If you want, you could right-click, and it would draw 3 times. If you really wanted to, you can actually hold just hold the mouse over, and I could hit 5, the number 5, and boom, I draw 5 cards, and it's still in there. Pretty great. You also have a scry feature. Say I wanted to scry, I could actually scry with this. No one can see this but me. What's really wonderful about this feature is there's a lot of shortcuts here. So this one is a move to the top of the library, bottom of the library. I could send this straight to the graveyard over there. Say I went this to the top of the library and I want to draw again. Boom, I draw it. Same thing with milling. Say I wanted to say, oh, someone just milled half my deck, 50 cards. Boom. Immediately just milled half my deck. I'm going to be yelling at them the rest of the game. But nonetheless, a lot of these features are really nice for this reason. If you wanted to interact further, you can actually right click on it. There are some options on here. I haven't fully worked out every single one, but some really wonderful features are for right off the bat are the top features. Cascading for X, revealing until you get a certain type of card, or searching for a basic land is really wonderful. Now this is just Conda, this is just white deck, but I could literally just hit get basic planes, and this shuffled my deck already and gave me a planes that I could add to my hand. And it was just as simple as going, yes, get a basic planes. That is a wonderful feature for that regard. You can spread the deck out. I wouldn't recommend doing that because of how many. There are some decks, though. For example, I have a Muldrotha deck that actually utilizes the graveyard a lot. I can actually click and hold to pick up the whole stack. I could actually do this. I can hit spread, and it's huge, but I absolutely now can interact with my graveyard as I go. And you're probably thinking this is a lot of cards that you just threw out. It is. The good news about this tabletop simulator is a lot of things are selectable. So I can select things individually just by clicking, or you can click and drag. And as you can see, there's a highlight here. There are a bunch of shortcuts that you can use. For example, now I can grab this and pick it up and go, oh my gosh, what is that? That is awful. You can just hit G, and it groups them back together. And I can click and hold, and it's back to being a regular pile deck again. Very wonderful shortcut features that work really well. If there's anything you don't want, for example, and you want to say you want to move something individually or as a group, you can group stuff together and take them and move them just like we did earlier. Now, again, there's tokens. You can use these tokens for reach. They're infinite, so you can just keep grabbing them. You can just use them as little as much as you want for whatever the case may be. Feel free to use them. There's energy counters, experience counters, and poison counters. If you use poison decks, I'm sad. You do have these X and Y counters, which I can kind of show you real quick. Let me find a creature card. Say we pull off a Sarah Avenger here. What's really fun, if you zoom in, it's hard to tell, but there are actual shortcuts on each of these cards on their sides. So for one, if you want to see what the menu looks like, this actually kind of tells you what you're looking at. But if you want, you can actually just see, hey, where am I going to go ahead and do a counter? I could do a loyalty counter there, or I could actually show the power and toughness, and check this out. You can actually increase or decrease their stats manually, and you can actually have that interact that way. Another fun thing you could do, say you like making copies of creatures, you can actually go up here to the top corner, make an exact copy. Boom. Keeps all the counters and everything included in that as well, and it's now its own card. And it can interact separately from whatever else you have going on over here. A lot of good functions there, and they works really well together. I love it a lot as far as how it runs together. The other thing is, if you don't like anything, you want to delete something, like there's a dice here we could use at the very beginning, just hit backspace, whether you're highlighting or selecting it. As long as you have it highlighted or selected, you can hit backspace and it just gets rid of it. You can still move stuff around as you would like, and you can still access as you wish. The only other thing, let me see here. Well, I mean, honestly, there's rules on how everything works and functions here. The tokens, you can take dice out, and you can roll them across the board like this. Some people may not like it because you can actually just be chucking at other people's boards. So instead of doing that, you could just, as long as you have it highlighted, you can actually hit R to roll, or you can keep hitting it, and you can just roll it a bunch of times, but it will stay in place. That's really fun. You could also get, for example, just say you were getting multiple dice. You actually could roll them all together simultaneously, or again, you could just roll them in place. What's really fun too is if you're throwing it or just rolling it, you can actually just hover your mouse over what are all selected. It will actually tell you that total here. which actually says I rolled a 24 total, for example. That's if you're rolling dice that need that roll. But again, it all just keeps it very confined. Another nice thing is if you take your turn, what is wonderful is it will say right here at the very top of the screen whose turn it is. If at any point your turn is done, there will be a checkbox next to it. You just click it, and it'll actually automatically move to the next person's turn, and everyone will know at any one time whose turn it is. If for any reason, say I lost the game, I can actually grab this little token over here, the turn skipper puck. I can just place it right here. That actually then tells the game that I'm out, and that it will always skip my turn as well, and it knows not to go ever interact with me on anything that might happen. But that's ultimately the basis of just what we would use this for. I've just tried this out in multiple different ways. I've made multiple different decks. I've had no issue whatsoever getting this stuff to load properly. There's only you might run into some instance where the deck itself is just trying to make sure there's no sideboard with your decks and nuances of like one-off sticker sheets and stuff, which I don't fully understand myself. But I had some instances where it was slowing me down on getting the actual deck imported. But once you actually take those instances out, it has no issue. I've put, let me see, several of these at this point. I have, like, I just tested all of these here, and all of these worked without issue. So you can get them from anywhere. I even get some from EDH Rec because I use it a lot. I would say as long as you have them in things like Moxfield or Architect or whatever you utilize that for, it works without issue. You just need to use the GUI deck importer to do it. But yeah, this is very well done. I am really excited the thought we could do this. If you guys are up front, like I said, the only issue is just paying up front. It is $20 right now, but it is on sale apparently all the time. So I would recommend this as a very good untapped uh, replacer because there are decks that I would never have ever considered using on Untapped that I absolutely would consider here. And in some cases, it's actually still faster than normal play in several instances. So that's just my 2 cents, but I'm curious what you guys think. If any of you already have it or are interested in getting it, let me know. I'd love to test run this with you guys, but just let me know. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.